Okay, so let's just get straight out of the way what makes this show good. First off, the cinematography, the acting, the set designs, and the plot in the first season. That's about it. In the second season, everything just goes downhill. They throw everything that they had good out the trash. They do not care anymore about their characters or character development or consequences whatsoever. So with that being said, let's get into the second season of Sabrina and the nitpicks I have with it that ruin it for me. First off, let's discuss the Theo situation and a basketball team. Now, I understand that they want to do like a different route, and this is their storytelling about talking a transgender kid going through high school. I understand that it can be, whatever. It's fine. There's different stories, different variations of the world. It's fine. I don't mind it. Now, the thing that irks me with this season and dealing with Theo is the whole basketball situation. Theo should have gone in using merit and talent to prove that Theo is just like one of the boys. Now, when Sabrina pops in helping Theo cheat by casting spells to get Theo into the basketball team, really irks me the wrong way. Not only because it doesn't do like merit or hard work, but also because it's kind of a plot hole. Sabrina has to continuously repeat the spell over and over again in order for Theo to make each shot. And this is only during tryouts. For the rest of the basketball season, Sabrina's not there to help out Theo. So how is the basketball team and the coach not aware that Theo sucks ass throughout the rest of the season? Oh, and this is completely out of order. No, it's all rearranged everywhere. We're going to go to the one that irks me the less to the most. I guess we can do that. Miss Wardwell. Again, in the first season, I said there was a whole bunch of character development and consequences that made the show good. Miss Wardwell, or Lilith, is the only one that I care about because, again, she's the only character that has character development and consequences actually happen to her. Everyone else is fine. I guess you could say Ambrose's boyfriend dies, but that's about it. Nothing else major happens. Prudence's siblings get taken away and could be married off to each other, but that could be resolved because, again, it ends with Ambrose and Prudence going off to hunt the priest, the Pope, what's his name? Father Blackwood. He's another issue that we're going to talk about, but getting ahead of myself. Do they not see a giant dive of how good Theo was in the tryouts and then how shitty Theo's doing in the rest of the season? What? Unless Theo's on the bench for the rest of the season, then fine, that's okay. But how is she still... she still in the basketball team when Theo sucks complete ass? I'm Confucius. So this is editing, Alberto. So my dumbass forgot to mention it while recording the video, the original video. So we're going to mention it right now. And they honestly fucked up Father Blackwood so hard in the second season. Literally, he's just a one-note misogynist. In the first season, he had some depth and showed that he just wanted, high power and he would defeat anyone for it. But now all it seems like all he cares about is just defeating all the women and making them his little bitch. Why? Why'd you make him a one note like this? They continue to beat a dead ass horse and choke it with a pussy hat. They they slaughtered that horse. Literally, there was no horse left. They pissed on its ashes. That's how blunt and thrown that's how they threw the information at your face. It was so... They threw the information so hard in your face, it was hard to ignore it. It was not subtle at all. There is no consequences in any of these characters whatsoever. Miss Wardwell is my favorite character in this season because she does so much. This was her season and the auntie season, to be honest. They were really great actresses and they did good. They learned the lessons in the beginning. The first season, So what the first season did great was with the auntie, Aunt Zelda, is that she would continuously kill and murder her sister over and over again, which is what makes the show great. It deals with witches and warlocks, so it plays around with death a lot and these dark tricks and elaborate jokes and pranks that they can pull off each other that mortals and Christians and angels wouldn't do. That's not as dark or menacing or scary or outright cruel. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, on Zelda. In the first season, she continuously kills her sister over and over again. But when the Dream Witch comes to torment the Spellman family, and on Zelda's nightmare, it's her killing her sister, but her sister doesn't come back alive again or at all. And it really traumatizes her that her sister again can die, and that her lesson was that she shouldn't take her sister for granted. She appreciates her and loves her more, and that she shouldn't just keep abusing her like this. That was a great character development. And season 2, there's really no growth besides Harvey and Roz who just get in a relationship, and that's about it. I mean, no one really learns or does anything because, again, it's mostly magic that solves the problem for them. No one really learns it themselves. And the only thing that does happen is with Lilith, who meets Miss Wardwell's boyfriend. And at first she's going to kill him, but then kind of not falls in love, but she admires or appreciates his companionship in Lilith's life. And so she keeps him around kind of as a friend. Even though it's Miss Wardwell's boyfriend, he sees her as more than a friend, obviously. And Satan finds out about this and sees that she's going to double cross the Dark Lord, in this case. And instead gets back at Lilith because he sees that she's having an affair and is going to try to ruin his plans. So he puts her in her place by killing Adam and feeding Adam's guts and meat to Lilith. It's devastating for her. It's a crash and burn. Her best friend just died and she ate him. It was traumatizing for her, and that impacted me the most throughout the entire season rather than anything else happening, because nothing else in this season was interesting whatsoever. I don't remember anything from any other character that was memorable or worth mentioning, unlike Lilith. That one was more traumatizing and more impactful than anybody else's relationships or their problems. The Christians in this episode, I'm glad they introduced, made the Christians or angels badass. I thought they were going to be a weak ass kind of, we have crossbows and guns and knives, whatever the fuck, to fight witches, which is kind of lame. You know, people who are satanic or like the dark arts have more power over people who just have crossbows. Like, you rarely see our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ bring down his wrath or see his ass do anything, or like have his angels do anything. And you see a lot of that happen, which is badass and really makes it awesome. You get to see that, angels and Christians have a power of their own. I'm not a Christian or I'm just saying that it's good to have a even playing field where not one has the most advantage. It's like surprising and equal battlefield. And it was awesome to see the angels or the Christian witch hunters do that, to pull off literally the power of God's bitch-slapping hand against the Weird Sisters. It was awesome. And the witch hunters appear out of nowhere, which is also pretty cool because it could just happen anytime, any place of the Coven's life. Like, they're unexpected. So I did enjoy that part. But again, there was no this is the episode I thought there was going to be consequences where a horde of witches die, like in American Horror Story Coven, where a whole bunch of voodoo witches are slaughtered by a witch hunter, and it added consequences and like action and drama to the show. And this, you think that's going to happen with the death of Melvin, that's his name, with the death of Melvin and another witch, and you can see everyone crying and burning and trying to be forced to convert to Christianity, and Dorcas is sobbing, seeing that Melvin's going to die, then he gets slaughtered. And you think, like, this is impactful just as much as it was to Lilith. The Lilith scene, like, it finally added drama, texture, and layers, and just horror. But who comes and saves the day? Oh, the OP Sabrina. Here she comes. Which is, again, is cool. They're playing, like, the dark devil version of Jesus. But, oh my god, like, why did she have to save? Everyone was saved and cured. Like, no one died. Melvin comes back to life. Everyone comes back to life. Everyone's okay. Except for the one scene where Zelda says, we could save some of them. But the other some, it's like mentioned quick. Like, you don't care about the few some that did die. Or that were poisoned by, not even the Christians or angels, but by Father Blackwood. Which is good to have internal affairs. But again, the witches that die you don't care about. They just kind of like throw over your head to say like, oh yeah, we did suffer a little bit, but that's about it. None of the main characters suffered or lost anything. Nothing at all. So annoying. And it could have been like a great message to say that, oh, the people who are into satanic cults and people who are in Christian beliefs can work together to defeat the one main evil, aka the devil. They can both agree on like, hey, the witches and coven and warlocks say like, hey, we like dark arts, but even we can say the devil is a bit too much. Like, we're on your side, okay? Like, we're good. We should work together to fight and defeat the devil because he wants to ruin the earth. We don't want to do that. We just like magic and dark arts and fantasy, ooh la la world. We don't want to kill anybody or harm anyone. We just want to use the powers that we were given. And the Christians could just say like, oh yeah, okay, as long as you don't hurt anybody and kill anyone, we can work together. We don't have to like each other, but we can work together against one big baddie. That would have been so dope to like add more episodes in this season rather than it being so rushed and tight. And the season was just also so rushed. I feel like they could have done so much with the Christians and the angels and the witch hunters. They could have worked together in some way to make it bigger and grand finale, because finale was kind of lackluster and underwhelming, to be honest. But before we get to the finale, actually, let's get to the finale because I'm almost done, basically. Sabrina doesn't learn her fucking lesson. She just doesn't learn. So, Sabrina and Nick finally piece together and find out that Miss Wardwell is Lilith, or not Lilith, but they find out that Miss Wardwell was tricking Sabrina to performing the dark perversions that can bring about the Dark Lord, Satan. They find out and they're like, all right, let's just not perform the last perversion. But instead of reading the Bible or like doing the research and seeing what the last perversion is so that they don't do it, they go off and do something else. Sabrina creates a double of her so she can add evil in there or like suck out the evil parts of her, which could work. But why don't you finish reading the book and see what the last perversion is instead of trying to find a different loop or way to get the dark part of you out? Just don't perform the perversion and the devil won't come out. That's it. You already know they already performed everything else. Just don't perform the last one that will bring him out. And so instead she kills her twin, who's honestly a lot more better and like badass and cute and adorable. Like, her twin has more character development. Sabrina does in these two seasons, or season 1, part 1, and part 2. Literally, I rooted for twin Sabrina more than I did original Sabrina. They just don't learn a fucking lesson. She doesn't finish reading the goddamn book. Literally, Nick is talking about Lilith that, oh, well, she's going to perform it by killing her double. And Nick's like, oh, wait, what? What do you mean? And she's like, it
was a mercy killing. It had to be done. For all we know, it might have stopped the apocalypse from happening. Dark Lord.
The last point I want to make is that witch that was protecting Sabrina's shrine. How is it that no one's asked since 1910 or 1920, whenever they clogged up the Cavern 13, to dynamite that bitch up? Like, how is it that a 15-year-old going through sexual, transgender dysphoria, going social problems, whatever the fuck, trying out for basketball, was able to kill a witch with a fucking pickaxe on the back? Not its head, its back. No cop, no miner was like, hey, how about we all go in as a group and kill whoever the fuck is in there? Or, again, dynamite that bitch up. Like, no one was... How was the 15-year-old was able to do it? I mean, you could have the argument that that witch was, like, over 100 years old and got weak. That sucks as a job. She's like, oh my god, I'm finally being promoted by the devil. Like, this is awesome. I'm finally gonna, like, kill a bitch or possess a body. And now we're gonna have you protect a shrine in the minefield. And I mean in the mine. That's all she had to do. That sucks as a job. I feel bad for that bitch. She needs a raise. And she got killed by a 15. Oh my god, that's what pisses me off more. They try to make Theo look more badass when it just annoys the shit out of me. I do not like Theo at all. Theo even clocks the shotgun like a badass. Like, can you imagine having to protect a shrine with a bitch's face who looks like she has nutritional deficiency? And I also hate Ambrose's voice. Oh my god. I know he has an accent, but he adds like a layer of smoke addict voice. Why does he add the. He sounds like Batman has lung cancer or it's just a heavy smoker. He sounds like. I hate Ambrose's voice. I hate Ambrose the most. He adds nothing to this show. He's just a horny sex addict who has a smoker's voice and is always there in everyone's plot line. He's literally everywhere. Why is he in Prudence's plot line? Well, because the father killed his boyfriend Luke. Who cares? He fucks anybody. I'm pretty sure he's like emotionally connected to everyone he fucks. He is just a pussy. I hate Ambrose. And the last one being the sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice, the Tony Stark of Sabrina, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Apparently, we're going to have finally a consequence or sacrifice in this show. The last episode, Nick sacrifices himself, his body, to trap the devil, because that's the only way to trap the devil is from the first creation or first trap ever, aka the human body. So Nick does this. Sabrina's crying. Everyone is emotional because finally a consequence. Someone's going to suffer or someone's going to have to like pay the price in order to save all that of good of humanity. Nick does this, finally thinking to myself, I don't want Nick. I like Nick more than Harvey, honestly. So it got me emotional. I know everyone else didn't, but I prefer Nick. And this sacrifice was like, oh my god, like we're never going to see him again. Or probably not going to see him for like a good majority of the show now because there's a season 3 and 4 already confirmed. But it was like a home run. Like finally something happened. Something emotional. Something that is going to affect the characters. And they all agree upon that, yo, Sabrina, once he sacrifices himself, there's no getting him back. Like, he's going to be trapped with the devil. That's the only way to keep the devil at bay. So you're going to have to wait a long while. We might find a way, but it's not going to be anytime soon. You get that. And she's just like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll ignore that. I'm going to save him anyway. It doesn't give like a time frame like, 5 months later or like a year or like even weeks or days, not even hours of like a time frame of how long has passed since then. And you hear Sabrina's dumb ass utter the words to her Scooby gang, I got a mission. And their dumb asses are like, oh, what is it? We're gonna save my boyfriend. Bitch, did you not learn anything from what just happened? The events that just occurred? We're not gonna save him. We're not gonna go to hell and save him. This is not a badass Suicide Squad mission. We're not doing this. We have school tomorrow, bitch. I have a project due. I have a year-end presentation to present. Your ass is crazy.